Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am so excited to start this new series. These classes are not for the faint of heart. This is the advanced series where we go deep into information. These new lessons are something incredibly powerful that can help you transform your financial life. So, now that you're done with the 16-week course, we're going to dive deeper into some other topics. These topics are just as or not more important than the other ones that you've already gone through, except they're much more thorough with some real world examples. Now, here's the thing. You're not going to see my face. I'm going to be doing a voiceover on this because I want you to focus on the spreadsheet. But rest assured, I'm fully focused and you should be too. So today is all about budgeting and spending plans. Often, these terms can sound a bit intimidating, but I promise you by the end of our session, you'll see them as your personal financial superpower. So let's get started. So why are we even talking about this? Why bother with a budget? Well, think of it this way. If you wanted to go on an amazing road trip, you wouldn't just hop in your car and aimlessly drive, right? First, you do what we do, probably try to argue, figure out if it's going to be a cruise or if you're going to go to the mountains or go to the beach. And once you get that figured out, you're going to have to plan your route, figure out how much gas you're going to need. You're going to need to rent a car, and then where you're going to stay. Well, here's the thing. Your money is no different. A budget isn't just about restricting you. It's about empowering you to direct your money where you want it to go so you can achieve your financial goals. It's about financial freedom, not financial limitations. So if you look here, you can see that the internet is riddled with budgets, expense spreadsheets, and you can use one of these. But what I did, I put together one that's going to cover everything that you need. And so let's break down the core concepts of the class. Now, as I'm doing this, you might hear the terms budget and spending plan used interchangeably, and that's okay. But for the purpose of today, let's think of them as two sides of the same coin. A budget is essentially a roadmap for your money. It's an estimate of your income and expenses over a specified period of time. Usually people look at month to month. A spending plan, however, that is the implementation of the budget that you create. So they work together. It is the conscious decisions you make every day about how you spend your money, guided by your budget. So again, they work hand in hand. So now we're going to take this step by step and go a little further. So how do we create this powerful tool? So it's going to boil down to a few key steps. First step, you need to know your income. What's coming in? Whether that's looking at a LES, looking at a pay stub, that's the first thing you need to figure out. Exactly how much money you have coming in. This is going to be your net income. And that's the amount after taxes, deductions, anything else that's taken out. You need to be realistic and only count the money you're sure you're going to get. That will go into the spreadsheet and you're going to put that under the income area. So let's just say hypothetically, you are a police officer. And as a police officer, I don't know, you're making $10K a month. That's going to be your total income. Now, your net income is going to change. Again, that's going to be all of the taxes, deductions, and anything else that's taken out. And that will happen in real time as we're putting in this data. So step 2, you're going to track your spending and you're going to ask yourself, where's my money going? And again, you're going to put that here. Okay. This is often the most eye-opening step. For me, it was very painful. And you're going to do this for at least a month. I want you to be meticulous. Track every dollar you spend. Yes, that means your coffees, your Netflix, your Hulu, every grocery run. Track it. And how you going to do this? Well, use the High Ground Financial Freedom app. It tracks your spending habits. It tracks everything. And you can use this budget worksheet right here. You can also use a notebook and pen. Go old school. You just need to keep track of every transaction. The goal here isn't to judge yourself, but to gain awareness. Do not, and I repeat, do not allow your feelings to get in the way of tracking. You'll be amazed at where your money is actually going. So now we're going to move into step 3. Categorize your expenses based on if they're fixed or if they're variable. So once you've tracked your spending, it's time to organize it. Again, we're going to dive and divide up our expenses into 2 main categories: fixed and variable. So write this down. Fixed expenses, these are the expenses that are generally the same amount every single month. They're usually contractual, like your mortgage or your rent, your car payments, insurance premiums, loan payments, things like that. Now, your variable expenses, these expenses fluctuate from month to month. Think about your groceries, eating out, entertainment, utilities. Again, that's your Hulu, Netflix, maybe golfing, car racing, your gas, your clothing, other hobbies that you may have. This is where you often have the most control because these expenses vary, hence the term variable expense. And then step 4, create your spending plan, allocating your money. Okay, so now it's time for the exciting part. Okay, this is where you get to tell your money what to do, because here's the thing. Ask yourself this question: who's the boss? And I'm going to tell you this: you are, and you need to act like it. So let's look at a quick example. Okay, we're going to go back over here. We're a police officer making $10K a month. Okay, but let's say we got some expenses. Let's say, for instance, we have a mortgage. Now, you can break it up. You can put your fixed expenses on this side and your variable expenses on this side. It doesn't matter. They're all going to get tallied down here. But if you want to just go down this row and then go down this row, you can start by putting a variable for a V and a fixed and put an F. So our mortgage is going to be fixed. So put an F, mortgage. And we'll call this primary. Put that in the front. Primary mortgage. And let's say your mortgage payment with everything, your insurance, taxes and all that, around $1,200 per month. So you saw once I put that $1,200, that automatically took that from your net income. Remember, your net income is what's left over after you get hit over the head by all of your expenses. Okay, so we got a primary mortgage, again, fixed. If you want to go ahead and just go down this row and keep going, let's say we have a variable one, and that variable one is going to be, let's say, gas bill, because that's going to fluctuate. And your gas bill this month is $35. Let's say we have auto insurance. That's going to be fixed. If it's not fixed, you need to change companies. So auto insurance, let me change that. So auto insurance, let's say it's $100 per month. And we're just going to keep going down. Let's say your Netflix. That's going to be fixed. I think it's $20 a month. Okay, you're going to do this for every bill, whether it's fixed or variable. You're going to add it in here. You're just going to go down the line, putting that amount in. Again, you can actually do fixed on one side, do variable on the other side, or you can just do them together. Just make sure you keep a track of which is which. So again, you're going to list your income first. Now list all your expenses. Okay, and like I said before, if it's a fix, put the F. If it's variable, put a V. Deduct these from your net income. The spreadsheet is going to do that for you already. Now, after the first month, you're going to do what's called baseline setting. Write that down. Your baseline is going to be set depending on how many your expenses and depending on your income. Now, this is where your tracking from step 2 becomes very invaluable. You're going to look at your past spending to get a realistic idea of how much you need for groceries, transportation. Don't forget savings and debt repayment. Make these a non-negotiable part of your budget. It's just like your rent. And then you want to pay yourself first. Even small amounts add up. So here you go. Let's go here and let's say your allowance. That's going to be variable. Let's call that variable. You can call it fixed too, but we're going to say your allowance this month is $150. Okay. Maybe you did some good work and you just want to reward yourself. So in weeks 11 through 13, I discussed the 50-30-20 rule. And I'm going to just recap real quick. 50% of your overall money will go to your needs. That's your housing, utilities, your groceries, your transportation, your insurance, some of your minimum debt repayments on your bills. Then you're going to take 30%. That's going to go to your wants. That's your dining out, your entertainment, your hobbies, different vacations, all of your subscriptions, again, TV subscriptions, whatever subscriptions you have out there. You're going to take care of yourself first. That's your wants. And then you're going to save. Now you're going to put 20% towards your savings and debt repayment, building up that emergency fund, that retirement, paying down high interest debt. Here's the thing. I know that sounds weird. Again, recapping the 50-30-20, paying yourself first, then saving. But here's the problem. If you go into any kind of savings without taking care of yourself first, you're going to touch it. If you take care of yourself first, you're going to be more inclined to value your savings and not mess with it. So this is a flexible guideline, not a strict rule. So you can adjust it to fit your unique situation and goals. Now for the last step, step number 5, you're going to review and adjust. You have to remember your budget is a living, breathing document. Your budget isn't a one and done task. Life changes, and so should your budget. Review it regularly, at least once or twice per month. Adjust as needed. Ask yourself some of these questions. Did you overspend in one area? Then you need to find ways to make a cut next month. Did you have an unexpected expense? Factor it in. Be flexible, and this is the most important part. Be kind to yourself. Do not beat yourself up. There will be months where you don't stick to it perfectly. The goal is progress, not perfection. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This sounds hard. And yes, there can be challenges. And so I'm going to throw some of the ones out that I've heard before, but I want to go back to this budget and income statement over here in expense spreadsheet. When you add in a liability, let's say this primary mortgage, and this is your monthly payment, I want you to swing down here into the liabilities area. And this again, this is going to be your primary mortgage. We'll just say primary mortgage. And that primary mortgage is, let's say you still own the house $175K. So that right there is going to come down here in your total, because these are all of your liabilities. If you have something that's bringing money in, for this being a police officer, whether it's rental property, you're going to put that over here as an asset because it's producing money, it's bringing money in, putting money into your pocket. Okay, so now back to the excuses that a lot of people make. Hopefully you don't get your feelings hurt, but I'm going to tell you anyway. The number one excuse I get, I don't make enough money. So here's the thing. While a budget can't magically create more income, it can help you optimize what you have. It can also highlight if your expenses truly outweigh your income, prompting you to explore ways to increase income, or, this is the hard one, reduce significant expenses. You may have to make some cuts, and that's okay. Be truthful with yourself. Number 2, the second thing I always hear is, I'm too busy to track everything. So here's the thing. At your core, you may think this is true. So start small, use this app that automates it, or just track one category for a week to get started. Consistency is always going to beat out intensity. The third thing is I always hear is, I feel deprived. So a good budget isn't about deprivation. It's all about being intentional in your spending. You need to know where your money is going. This is going to allow you to say yes to the things that truly matter to you because you've planned for them, right? If you love coffee, budget for it. Just be conscious of it. Number 4, unexpected expenses always throw me off. This is why you have an emergency fund. This is critical. You want to aim for 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved. This acts as a financial safety net and protects you. So before I close, think of it this way. Budgeting is the foundational block for virtually every other financial goal. Let's think about saving for a down payment on a house. Well, your budget helps you find the money. What about paying off your debt faster? Your budget shows you where you can free up extra cash for payments. Building an emergency fund. Your budget is going to make that a priority. What about saving for retirement? Your budget ensures consistent contributions into that retirement fund. So without a clear understanding of your income and expenses, achieving these goals becomes significantly harder, if not impossible. So here's the call to action. I've given you a lot, and I want to encourage you. Where do I start? I want you to commit tracking your spending for the next 30 days. Use this app and the spreadsheet I provided. It's all done for you. Be kind and be patient with yourself. This is a skill that's developed over time. You have to remember, financial literacy isn't about being perfect. It's about being prepared and making informed choices. So I'm going to jump back over here to this spreadsheet. And on this spreadsheet, one key important area is this debt to income ratio. This is automatically going to be configured for you. And that's basically the difference between how much you're putting out and how much you have. When you're talking to a bank or you're trying to buy a car or buy a home, they're going to want to know, what is your debt to income ratio? Again, this is done for you right here. And you can add in your family name. The date is automatically going to auto populate, and you can put in your number of children. Okay, so again, this spreadsheet does everything for you. So back to what I was saying. A budget and a spending plan is your most powerful tool. This is where you need to start. To take control of your financial future, it is the most powerful tool you're going to have. You have the power to direct your money. So let's power. Thank you for your attention. Now let's get that financial freedom, and God bless.